Hi everyone. Today we have Shane with us. Shane is the owner of Swiss Made Marketing, and Swiss Made Marketing is the company behind a lot of the great internet marketing products, specifically SE Cockpit, which is one of my favorite keyword research tool, and I use it exclusively for all my niche sites. And we just today with Shane, we're just going to talk about a lot of the interesting things. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes with SEO in the recent weeks. We're just going to go into that as well. I'd like to sort of start with just to get a bit of a brief background from Shane and how you actually got started in internet marketing and what inspired you to sort of develop tools and SEO and all those things.
Sure, yeah. Well, where did I start? I got started, I guess, well, the first thing I ever did, I've been trying to be entrepreneurial for a very long time.
Yeah.
And the first thing I ever took online, I started without any kind of business expertise. I don't have like a degree in whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever degree you need to run a business.
Yeah.
I have zero credentials like that, so I just set out thinking I want to start my own business, and I started offline with various things that none of them worked.
Yeah.
And one of the things, the first thing I took online was that I started selling custom computers.
Yeah.
So I'd always built my own computers, and I started kind of doing that as a service. I would build custom computers for people, high-end computers, more high-end stuff than you can usually get in a store. And I tried to get some customers online, and I didn't have a clue about anything, so I hired someone to build a website for me. And they did build some kind of an e-commerce type website for me, but I didn't even have enough knowledge about all this to know how to run it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what to do with that website. So at some point, sometime later, I basically ran an e-commerce store for a dropshipping or for a large distributor company in Europe.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I really noticed a correlation between marketing and getting sales.
Yeah.
Because this e-commerce store, we got quite a lot of customers quite quickly, and it was mainly because at that time I'd been doing a lot of what I now recognize to be personal marketing or personal branding. I didn't know what I was doing back then, basically, but I was writing content in this niche, and I was participating in forums and so on, and I basically made a name for myself in this very, very small niche.
Yeah.
And that led to people trusting me, and therefore people buying stuff in this e-commerce store.
Excellent.
And that was when I started that's kind of when I realized, okay, the thing that I've been getting wrong in all of the business ventures that weren't working is that I always focused on the product rather than the marketing.
Yeah.
Right? I always thought if I have a good product, that people will just find me and buy it.
Yeah.
And at that point I realized I need to take this marketing thing seriously. So that's how I got started with online marketing and affiliate marketing and SEO and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's one of the common mistakes a lot of people still make in internet marketing. They think that they have a product they can sell without actually have any knowledge of obviously if that product actually is really sellable, and they sort of create a product and they don't test the market. So that's interesting. So what is this? Obviously, you developed is SE Cockpit your first sort of internet marketing product or keyword research tool, or did you?
No, it's not. No, because I started out actually not wanting to market in the online marketing space at all.
Yeah.
But I did write a blog. Originally, I started writing a blog just because I wanted to write some product reviews that weren't just promoting products, but that were actual reviews, and also just to kind of document my own progress. Because it's a bit like journaling, right? I didn't even really expect to get an audience for my blog. but it just helps to write down your own process.
Yeah.
And that's really the reason I started. So I did that, and I saw that I got good feedback from people who came across my blog, which led to me creating some free content, some free products. I created a free keyword research training program. That was one of the first ones. I created another free product about, wow, I've made so many by now. I mean, I have a whole,
Yeah.
I have a whole range of, free reports, free training products, and so
Yeah.
on. And that's how I started out. And then at some point, I started selling information products. And then I teamed up with Sam, who is now the head guy of Swiss Made Marketing.
Yeah.
And we actually created two very small, very simple programs before we started marketing SE Cockpit.
Yeah.
So we launched Ghost URL and Offer Countdown, which did horribly.
Yeah.
But then SE Cockpit was the first big tool that we did.
Yeah. And I actually remember that was probably sort of middle of last year when SE Cockpit was first being introduced to the market. You sort of took the approach of not having a big product launch. You sort of you conducted some webinars, and you sort of invited people to attend webinars, and that's where they could sign up for SE Cockpit. I guess I'd like to know sort of what was the, I know you sort of talked about it in one of your blog posts, why you took that approach. I'd love to know what, just briefly what was the sort of incentive behind taking that approach instead of doing a big product launch, and the way you did it was kind of build it slowly and try and sign up people through webinars and stuff.
Yeah, there are two reasons behind that. The first one is, and this is also very much kind of my method of creating products, because as I said before, it started out with a blog, and then it started out with excuse me, it started out with user demand from the blog readers, which is what I based my free products on.
Yeah.
So I realized, here's what my readers want, or here are the most common questions, and I made products about that. And I kind of kept I went from blog posts to free products to paid products, always based on the user feedback I got along the way.
Yeah.
And you can launch any kind of service in the same way. And so with SE Cockpit, Sam had this interesting but relatively bare bones keyword research tool.
Yeah.
And he would have probably done what most people, one of the most common mistakes, which is constantly think, well, I have to make it a little better before I can launch it. I have to make it a little better before I can launch it. So you can go on like that forever.
Yeah, I agree.
And so what we decided to do is we are going to launch what we have as soon as possible, and we're just going to make it really cheap.
Yeah.
We're going to do it like a small launch just through a webinar. We're going to get some people in there, get them to start using it, and then we'll ask them what they actually want. Because we can sit here and think about what is the most important thing to put in here all day long, but we'll never come up with an answer as good as if we get, let's say, 50 people, even if it's just 50 people, using this tool, and then ask them, hey, what's your favorite feature? What are you missing? What do you wish was in here? And so on. So that was an important part of that. We wanted to roll it out to get people to use it so that we can ask them what we should do next.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the second reason is, after we did that for a while, after we did a few webinars, we actually did first think, okay, let's do a big launch. And we even thought about, because SE Cockpit is actually kind of difficult to sell, because you have to educate people about what it does, and you have to educate people about keyword research before they understand why SE Cockpit is better than anything else. So we thought, you know what, we'll do a front-end product. We'll do a product that's about niche marketing, about teaching people niche marketing, and we'll actually sell SE Cockpit on the back end of that to get more exposure. And we were kind of planning, how we're going to do this launch. And at some point we realized, wait a minute, this is actually not a very good idea, because SE Cockpit is an online service, and basically it uses up a lot of resources. When someone does keyword research in SE Cockpit, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the background. It costs us a lot of money to run this thing. And if we did a big launch and we actually got, let's say, 1,000 new customers from a launch within 1 week, we'd have like this huge spike in usage. We'd have to somehow be able to cover all the resource usage that causes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then obviously this spike would then collapse again, because everybody uses the product right away very intensely when they get it.
Yeah.
And then slowly it evens out, you know, right at the beginning you're using it like crazy, but then after a while you use it every once in a while. So it would have cost us a lot of money to try and cover this huge increase in usage.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't actually be the best way to grow a tool like this. So it's much better for us to have a steady growth than to do a launch model type thing.
Yeah. And obviously, when I started using SE Cockpit, I compared it to some of the tools that were available back then, like Market Samurai. And I think the thing that really attracted me to SE Cockpit was the really excellent competition analysis features you've got. So I guess I just wanted to quickly ask you what were some of the things you looked at in the market before you started developing SE Cockpit that were missing from your perspective when you went out to do keyword research? What did you think was missing that inspired you to sort of add some of these really excellent features in SE Cockpit, mostly to do with competition analysis, I think?
Yeah, absolutely. That is, see, competition analysis is the most difficult part of keyword research.
Yeah.
Because essentially, you want to know, to truly have a competition analysis, you want to know all of the relevant SEO and ranking factors of the currently top ranked websites for each keyword that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do that manually, that's a huge amount of work, right? If you have a list of 10 keywords, that means you're looking at 10 different Google top 10 results pages, and you're looking at 100 websites in total,
Absolutely.
checking them for, let's say, half a dozen factors each. I mean, that would take like a week to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So, but the big problem is that with automation tools, the thing is that SE Cockpit costs a lot of money to run. It's really expensive to do this kind of analysis.
Yes.
And that's why nobody else does it.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier to create a keyword tool that does some very simple, very rudimentary checking. And you know, a keyword tool that, let's say, you can sell for something between $30 and $100 one-time price, downloadable software. Yeah. That's much easier sell to make. It's much easier to say, hey, we have this fancy keyword tool, you know, you make it look nice, you make it generate some nice looking graphs or something. Yeah. And say, hey, this is the newest thing and it costs you only $30 only once. That's a great product to launch. That's a great way to make, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on a launch, if not more. Yeah. And saying we have a keyword research tool that's much more complex and it costs $100 a month, that's a much tougher sell, which is why nobody did it. But in avoiding that, they created a void in the market, which is for people who know how real competition analysis works, and they look at other tools like Market Samurai and say, well, this isn't really what I'm looking for. Yeah, yeah. So that's basically, originally we built SE Cockpit the way it is because that's how we wanted to do keyword research, and no other tools were providing what we were looking for. Yeah, I agree. I think as I said, like when I started using SE Cockpit, the competition analysis was just, you know, really spot on, and you know, like you could see like basic factors like which websites are using keyword and title tags, and which website are using have keywords in domains, and you know, it even gave you the sort of like the ranking factors as to, you know, what you should be with the color coding. So those were really excellent features. I suppose the other thing I want to sort of cover is obviously I love SE Cockpit, and you know, people who are listening to this I would recommend that they should, if they're serious about keyword research, I think SE Cockpit is one of the best, or in my opinion the best tool out there. I suppose the other thing I just want to cover now is obviously the internet marketing, the overall internet marketing side of things. And I know you mentioned that you sort of you got into internet marketing, started from e-commerce, and so what do you, obviously there's a lot of things that have been changing in internet marketing, mostly to do with SEO and Google making changes and all those sort of things. So I just want to get some thoughts from you as to what do you think is a sustainable internet marketing model for people who are starting out in internet marketing,
and they want to build a sustainable business, not something they build a few websites, they rank them, and then suddenly the next month they're gone from the search engines.
Yeah.
So what is some of your tips or thoughts on building a sustainable business in internet marketing?
Yeah, so the thing I've been talking about all year, basically, ever since the beginning of the year, I've been talking about what I've called the new traffic paradigm.
Yeah.
Which is based on that, because look, I used to do a lot of the very typical niche marketing model, which is you pick a bunch of keywords, you pay someone to write a bunch of articles about these keywords, you put that on a website, you put on some ad sensor, you put on your affiliate links in there, and you throw backlinks at it until it ranks. This used to work fantastically well.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, like a few years ago, it was a very simple process to get this done, and especially if you just if you had a bit of budget to outsource this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was, I mean, it was like very easy to do. You could, if you did 10 websites like that, maybe 3 of them wouldn't work out, but 7 of them would be profitable.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to make money. But of course, this led to this being exploited a lot, and Google making changes to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore, that you can't just get crap ranked anymore.
Yep.
So for me, I also, another thing I noticed is that I ended up not really spending much time on niche sites anymore, because all of the non-niche site stuff I was doing was making me so much more money that it's like, why should I spend 3 hours optimizing a niche site so that it can maybe earn $200 a month when I could spend 3 hours on, let's say, acquiring a new webinar partner to promote SE Cockpit, and we'll make thousands of dollars off of a webinar. And we'll get recurring income from that, and so on. So I noticed that anything I did that supported my own brand, my own products, and the bigger stuff I was doing rather than the small niche sites was so much more profitable that I was almost automatically, I stopped working on niche sites a lot. And I also got fed up with, because it happened to me as well. Even though I always tried to keep my quality, my content high quality. I never built like, the super spammy forum profile links and comment spam links and stuff like that. I always avoided that. And it did help, because a lot of Google slaps that happened, I avoided. Okay, it happened quite often that people, you'd see all over the forums, people would go, oh my god, I lost all my rankings, and I checked my rankings, it did still be there. So I thought, hey, I'm doing fine. But actually, towards the end of last year, with the new Panda updates coming out, my sites started to drop as well. My niche sites started to drop as well. But my actual product sites, my brand sites and so on, were unaffected by this. So and this is how I came up with this new traffic paradigm thing, is that at this point I think it's still possible, but I don't think it's worth your time to do the uninvolved, simple, totally outsourced niche site type thing. So what it's all about is providing an actual product or an actual service to a specific group of people. And this doesn't even have to mean that you create an actual product and sell an actual product. That's something you can do. But even if you have a content site, I think the key is not to think of it as, here are some keywords and I'll write some content optimized for these keywords. The key is to think of, who are the people in this niche? What are their questions? What are they looking for? And how can I serve them? Okay, what you want to do is basically forget about traffic and start thinking about people. Start thinking about, who are the people who will come to this website, and how can I offer them a mind-blowingly awesome service? And that will be the basis. That's the basis of your business. And everything else still comes, but it's built on top of that. You still do your SEO, and you still do your link building, and you still do whatever else you were doing. But if it's based on providing a really cool service to people, that's what makes it sustainable.
And obviously, I think Google, it's been talked about in the internet marketing circles quite a bit, that Google's kind of favoring, obviously bigger brands and all those sort of things. So I suppose the key really is to focus on something that's the content is written for the visitors, not so much the search engines, and something that's, you know, that's sustainable, and it's going to last in this year and next year and beyond. So I guess
and no, the thing is that you can also, you know, we can talk about SEO, and there are things like a lot of what the Panda update did is based on observing user behavior.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about how exactly, it still matters, but it's not that much about how exactly your website is structured, how your content, you know, what your content is like, how many words on the page and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's taken a backseat to how are people actually interacting with your website.
Yeah.
If people are clicking through to your website and then bouncing back to Google,
yeah,
that gives Google a pretty clear signal that they didn't find what they were looking for on your site.
yeah,
If they come to your site and they stay and they maybe tweet about it or share it on Facebook and they sign up to your newsletter and so on, that also gives, even just from the fact that this visitor did not come back to the Google results, that gives Google an input about the quality of your site.
yeah,
but it's really, what I want to emphasize is that it is what goes completely beyond Google. Because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, Google wants you to create quality content and so on, but that's not true. Google don't care about your content.
Yeah.
Google want more money for Google. Okay, that's the only thing. Google wants to make more money.
Yes. Yeah.
And they don't give a rat's ass about how great your site is. Ultimately, the ideal outcome for Google is that everything in the Google results links back to Google or is a paid ad.
Yeah.
And if they can get there, they will, no matter how good your site is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, if they do that, but you have a brand, you have a bunch of people who have interacted with you, who have bought your service, bought your product, and loved it,
yeah,
then it doesn't matter, right? Because these people come to you because they want you. So whether or not you show up in the Google results becomes secondary.
yes, yeah,
So that's what I'm really talking about, is you want to build something that, look, things will change, okay? Google might not be relevant anymore in 5 years. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Some new thing, you know, Pinterest has been popping up, this new website. Suddenly, millions of people are using that apparently.
Yes, they have been, yeah.
Maybe it will replace something else, make something else irrelevant. This is going to keep happening. But as long as you focus on people, and as long as you focus on being awesome to those people who are your customer base or your followers or whatever you want to call them,
yeah,
that will always last, right? If Twitter becomes irrelevant, your Twitter followers, because they love you, they will follow you over to the new thing.
yeah.
And I think that's what the key is.
Yeah, and obviously, I just wanted to, just going on from that topic, I wanted to get some sort of thoughts from you on, I guess one of the common problems for people when, especially in internet marketing, they see a lot of ideas. There's a lot of ideas to make money, affiliate marketing, AdSense, or, you know, CPA offers and all sorts of things. So I guess it's common for people to sort of jump from one idea to another. They'll see, okay, well, maybe I'll try Amazon today, or tomorrow I'll try AdSense, maybe that doesn't work, so I'll try affiliate marketing. So obviously, you know, when people start in internet marketing, they have an issue with focus. And I'll come to the topic of the WSOs, which you recently blogged about, which was quite interesting as well. I'll come to that in a bit. So I suppose I just wanted to get your thoughts on when you started in internet marketing. Obviously, did you have a similar problem that you were lacking focus, and how did you overcome it, and you sort of established yourself into, you know, doing what you're doing and doing it successfully?
Yeah, I definitely did have that as well. That in the beginning, I just thought, okay, there seems to be opportunity here, and I wasn't sure what to go after. And you know, I did buy a bunch of ebooks and read a whole bunch of different blogs and different topics, and trying to figure out what I wanted to actually do.
Yeah.
But it didn't take me too long to start focusing on something. And one of the reasons is, one thing I always do is I always look at things kind of from an observer perspective. So if someone, you know, if I buy someone's ebook and then they start sending me emails to other offers,
yeah,
I always try to look at that not in terms of, oh my god, there's an offer here, but in terms of what is this marketer doing, right? I try to observe that I signed up for their ebook, and now they're sending me these offers, and I try to look at what is this person doing, how successful are they, and so on. So I saw that the most successful people in internet marketing were those who focused on a specific topic.
Yep.
And that's just one thing I noticed, and where I realized if I want to emulate that, I want to emulate what the people are doing who are making lots of money, and I saw that they were keeping it focused, and I saw that they were creating their own product. So that's what I started focusing on as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's something you have to learn. And you know, you mentioned stuff like CPA offers and paid traffic and so on. Look, there's a killing to be made in that field.
Yeah.
Still, it's super difficult, and there's a very real risk of losing lots and lots of money if you get into that.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to discredit any of that. You just have to know that it's super difficult, but if you manage to become good at that, then that's going to be a huge asset. If you learn the skills necessary to buy traffic, basically cold traffic from some traffic source, throw them at a landing page, and get the types of conversions that make the campaign profitable for you, that's a huge asset to have.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Good stuff. It just doesn't happen to be my area of expertise.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't give you advice about that. But I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying that my way of doing it is the service and product and branding thing I was talking about.
Yeah. Obviously.
Was that? I think I completely got off track there. What were you asking?
I suppose the question was more about the keeping your focus. Like, I guess my question was more like, well, you know, regardless of whichever path you choose to do, make money in internet marketing, whether it be affiliate offers or AdSense or any other CPA offers, I suppose the key is really execution and taking something from start to finish until you see the results. You know, a lot of people have the tendency to give up too quickly. I guess that was the point I was getting to, as to, you know, what sort of kept you focused.
You're generally going to be really bad at whatever you do when you first do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you have to have this dedication that carries you through to the point where you repeat something enough until you get good at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely key.
Yeah, excellent. I guess I just wanted to quick on the topic of WSOs. A lot of people who don't actually know about WSOs is something called Warrior Special Offers, and that sort of filters from the topic we just discussed on keeping focus. And Warrior Forum is a great place to. I mean, I personally use it for. I've sold WSOs, and I've you know, until recently I used to buy WSOs, which I thought were going to be beneficial for my own business. So what sort of, I know you sort of discontinued one of your products for creating or selling WSOs, and what was the sort of, I know you mentioned briefly in your blog post that you were sort of not into that, into the kind of the Warrior Forum kind of type of business anymore. So what sort of, what motivated you to sort of just leave that all behind you and, you know, not sort of offer that product anymore?
Yeah, it was a decision based on a brand association. So I might still do WSOs for my future product, you know, and basically use the marketplace, but I don't want to be known as someone who teaches people how to do WSOs or who endorses buying stuff on the WSO forum, because I think, well, there are several problems with the marketplace. And again, if you go into the marketplace and you want to learn about how to make money online, you're just going to get lost. If you go into the marketplace thinking analytically, thinking about what's going on here, then it's going to be very interesting. Because, so what's, you know, there are several issues there. The first is that, of course, you have an entire forum dedicated to trying to sell stuff, mostly to newbies. So it's just all over. It's, you know, the secret to how I taught my mom to make $5,000 a day in just $5, whatever. It's all about, you know, that everybody's trying so hard to get your attention, to get you to buy their stuff. Now, if you look at what happens behind the scenes, actually there's so much interesting stuff going on with the Warrior Forum, because so one of the things is that for all the top selling products on the Warrior Forum, almost 100% of the traffic comes from affiliates. So actually having your product in the Warrior Forum thread isn't a great benefit. You know, it's not like you get a ton of traffic from the Warrior Forum itself. the really successful WSOs get almost all their traffic from affiliates, which
Affiliates,
makes
yeah.
you wonder, why are they paying $40 to put their offer on a forum where they don't have control over their webpage as much as they would have if they just hosted it themselves, which would be free? Why is that all happening? So that's already weird. But what's even more is right now, most of the WSOs are priced extremely low.
Yeah.
So most of them are going to be like between $5 and maybe $20. And almost all of them give 100% commission to affiliates. All right. So if I promote your $7 WSO and someone buys it, I get those $7. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
Most of them have an upsell or two.
Yep.
And some of them also offer 100% commission on that upsell.
Yep.
Which creates a problem, because if you buy someone's product and they're giving away all of the money they make in commissions, it means that they have to monetize that product by promoting more stuff to you. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the first problem.
Yeah.
And what happens on the Warrior Forum is that everybody is constantly promoting each other's products, and they're only making their own products are the only ones they're not making money on.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Which also leads to people not putting that much care into their own products.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to sell a product for $7 and you don't even get any of the money, how much work are you going to put into that?
It's true.
And I think, these things all come together to make a marketplace that I just can't recommend, because if you go and buy something there, it's probably going to be underwhelming. It's probably going to be a big overpromise and a big underwhelm.
Yeah.
And you're almost definitely going to get offer after offer after offer for more WSO stuff, because otherwise the guy who sold you the product isn't actually going to make any money.
No, I think that's really how they obviously one of the keys to, I know from my experience, one of the keys to successful WSOs is driving a lot of affiliate traffic. And the WSOs I've bought personally, I still get emails like I think I tweeted about this to you, the WSO of the day thing. You get that email every day, and they send you an email saying, oh, this is the hot WSO today, so you should go and buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the WSO of the day is the biggest racket ever, because it's run by a guy who has this affiliate system, which is the worst affiliate system in the world.
Yeah.
It's like the WSO Pro thing, which is like the worst sales process you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And people use that because they have to use that in order to get a chance to be WSO of the day, which is mainly based on how well your product is selling. So never mind whether it's any good or not.
Yeah.
And it seems like a seal of quality, right? Oh, it's WSO of the day. No, someone's trying to make more money off of it. And there's so much wrong with that. And, affiliates actually have to pay for the privilege. It costs like $4 a month for the privilege to be able to promote other WSO Pro offers.
Absolutely.
You have to manually approve every affiliate, and it's such a racket. I mean, the fact that exists is amazing. And the people who run this stuff in the Warrior Forum are making a ton of money.
Yeah.
Really, everybody in there should just say, you know what, this is ridiculous. Let's take a step back and just, not use this forum anymore, not pay $40 per listing anymore, not pay $20 to put a button on there, not pay $4 a month to be an affiliate. Let's just leave that all away, because they can still cross-promote all their crap to each other without using the forum. I mean, it's like a farce or something, but anyway. Let's not get carried away.
No, I think I do agree that it is like, especially for newbie marketers, it is a kind of a bit of a trap, because you will see these emails constantly coming in your inbox, and you'll be saying, oh, this is a great new offer. I can see, there's an offer about AdSense. Okay, let's try this, and there's an offer about Amazon. So it's it can be. So I guess I just wanted to cover that, because it was related to the subject we talked about earlier. Is keeping your focus, and staying on track with one. Take your whatever you want to do affiliate marketing or create your own products like you did, or if you want to create your own brand. I think it's really about the execution, taking it from start to finish, and just following a track or a plan you can actually achieve results with.
Absolutely. I think realistically you have to assume that this is going to take a few months at least. A few months of dedicated work, and if you get an offer for a new, different, brand new thing every other day, and you follow that, you're just not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess just to wrap up, I just wanted to get your sort of some feedback on obviously SE Cockpit is a great product, and anyone listening to this is I highly recommend. So what are your plans for SE Cockpit moving on? I know there's been a lot of as Market Samura, for example, has been in news quite a bit because of all the issues they had with Google sort of the search they conducted through Google was banned.
Sure.
So what are your plans moving forward as your SE Cockpit? How do you see that coming forward in the future as a product?
Yeah, there's actually a lot going on there. And first of all, we haven't been affected by any of this because of the way SE Cockpit is run. None of that stuff applies to us luckily because it's not a desktop, not a downloadable software.
Yeah.
One of the things we've been working on for quite a while now is the rank tracker, which we've included and rolled out to most users now, and which will be rolled out to everyone very soon. And we have at least two more modules that will be added onto SE Cockpit, like the rank tracker was an add-on module. That's going to happen, in the course of this year. We're also working on like a consulting edition of SE Cockpit, so that if you're doing SEO consulting for people, so that you'd have an edition where first of all you could add sub-accounts. So if you have a company and you have team members, you can have sub-accounts for each team member, and where you'd have a way to easily create really nice looking branded reports.
Yep. Okay.
So that's something, because we already have quite a few clients who basically run SEO companies and use SE Cockpit as their main tool to do that. So we definitely want to develop it more in that direction to service those people as well.
Yeah.
And that's on the Swiss-made marketing front. There's a lot happening there, most of which I don't want to talk about yet because I don't want to give too much away.
Yep, I understand. Yep.
And the same really on my side, on the IM Impact side, I currently have like about 5 software products in development at the same time, and I'm losing track of them all, but they're going to be released, and they basically all go into the new traffic paradigm stuff that I talked about.
Yeah.
And I'll also be doing, I have been doing a lot of blogging and stuff like that, but I haven't been doing a lot of like products and product releases or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they are lined up. There is going to be more of that stuff. People are asking for some kind of a product about traffic generation, or maybe some kind of a new product about SEO, and all of that is in the works.
Excellent. So yeah, I guess I just want to thanks for taking the time to provide us with your insights, and anyone who's listening, I would just to wrap up, I would say that if you're serious about internet marketing, finding great keywords, I think SE Cockpit is really the tool to go for. And thanks Shane, and hopefully we'll get to chat to you again about some interesting internet marketing stuff.
Absolutely, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Shane.